You ever meet somebody and they're so boring, you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it. This guy's name is Craig. I met him. I made sure to get it. I was like, I'm gonna remember you for the rest of my life, man. I met him at the bank. Is he a bank teller? No. Is he a security guard? Nope. What's his job? I don't know. Whatever they call that guy that stands in the lobby of banks now, where you walk in and you're like, do you work here? And he's like, I think so. That guy? The lobby liaison? Well, I saw him, we made eye contact. I don't know how you work. For me, if we make eye contact during the day, not at night, but during the day, out of human decency, I acknowledge you. So that's what I did. We made eye contact and I go, how you doing? And he went, and I was like, okay. So then I get to the second set of doors to walk in. And as I reach for that door, I hear, you going to the bank? I go, is this still a bank? He goes, yeah. I go, I'd like to. And he goes, go for it. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then I reach back and he goes, I'm going to Virginia next week. Are you telling me that? He goes, you said, how you doing when you got here? I had to think about it. That's what I'm doing. I go, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard anybody say. And also not how that question works, but all right. And now I reach back and he goes, yeah, my sister lives there. And I'm like, how long she live there? Now I'm roped in. He goes, 15 years. And I go, you've never been? He goes, uh-uh. Now I'm starting to look at him like, hey man, do you drive to work or does somebody drop you off? You know what I mean? I think he could. Yeah. I think he could see it in my face because out of nowhere he goes, I drive. And I was like, that's cool, man. That's cool. I drive too, that's crazy. I gotta get in here. He goes, yeah, we're going to check out D.C. and we're going to see some monuments. I go, I would love to hear about it, but I have to make a deposit. He goes, well, I'll be here when you walk out. I go, you motherfucker. Fuck that guy, and fuck everybody like him. If you have the audacity to tell people how you're doing when they say, how you doing, that shit is rude and selfish, all right? I'm serious. There are two acceptable answers to how you doing. Fine and great. And if you're miserable, you say fine. You don't burden people with your real world problems during a courteous exchange. Yeah. Sure. You know why? Because nobody wants to hear your problems. Your problems make my dick soft. And I am trying to stay hard out here. Now, you know who's got a good system going on? Rodrigo Duterte, the president of the Philippines. Yeah, well, if you're not aware, the president of the Philippines is a super cool guy. And he has a lot of fun ideas. One of them is that he employs motorcycle murder squads to go out and kill people on sight. No arrest, no trial. Who does he do it to? Drug dealers and suspected drug users. Suspected. Do you know how many tired people die every day in Manila? Isn't that crazy to you? You could walk out of your house at 5 in the morning like, oh shit. And then you hear, you're like, oh. I'm up. And they just roll up next to you. You high? You're like, I just got up. They're like, you're high. Pow, kill you. It's horrific. It's reprehensible, and I hope that we adopt it here. Not for drug usage, obviously. I think we should reserve it for people who have public speakerphone conversations with their phones in front of their face like this. You know? Yeah. What are these people just walking around oblivious to the world around them? You're waiting in line to buy a coffee, you have to hear a fascinating two-way tale amplified. It's always like,
where were you last night? How about that? How about that? Where were you? I was higher. I was a high. I was in her.
slice her fucking throat, right in line. Kick the body, have a coffee. So, too violent? I get it. So, you know whose balls I'd love to slam in a mailbox for 20 minutes straight? Grown men who board 6 a.m. flights who have never seen clouds before. I don't know if you've ever had the good fortune of boarding an early morning flight where there's an unspoken agreement, we're gonna keep it nice and dark so we can rest along the journey, but there's always some TikTok in 16C. Yeah. One guy who's sitting there who's like, I never see a cloud like that. Oh, there's another one right there. What, are you fucking 4? Shut the shade, tit slap. We're trying to get some rest. And people who put stick figures and the names of the family members on the rear windshields of their car. They should be publicly executed in their car so we can keep score on the window, you know? Isn't that insane to you? Don't you have any protective instincts? I mean, it's crazy. You pull up at a random red light and the car in front of you is like, it's funny that you didn't ask. But inside are mommy and daddy and Brian and Marissa. And there's a soccer ball next to Brian because Brian loves soccer. Oh. Does Brian love getting molested? Because you put his name and favorite thing out there as bait to society. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Why don't you put your home address and his daily schedule right fucking next to it? Brian's up at 6, home at 1, bath at 7. Come over if you want to join us. It's not okay. Guys, have you ever thought about how many times you may have slept with your significant other? You should know the answer, so let me just start there, all right? If you do, that's terrifying. And